TIFU by sticking my dick in crazy. Long story short, I hooked up with this girl I met online. Showered her how to make a couple drinks for an upcoming party of hers. Watched a movie and she asked me for a calf massage. Then we went to the bedroom so she could give me a back massage. Took off my shirt so she could use lotion. One thing led to another. I am 24 and she is 40-something. After we had sex, she wanted to spend the night and I said I wasn't comfortable with that. She was not happy about that. I suggested we snuggle for a bit and then I take her home. She wanted me to take her home right then. Completely silent on the whole car ride. I said, sorry, I just don't sleep super well with someone in my bed because of stuff in my past. And she said, I don't fucking care, you're never gonna talk to me again. As we were pulling up to her place, she said, you know what I'm going to do tonight? Go to the emergency room, and I said, why? And she said, you can think about why, have fun in jail, and got out. Now even though I'm 100% confident in what happened and my actions, I'm still paranoid at what she could do. TLDR pissed off online date by not letting her sleep over, now she alluded to trying to falsely accuse me of SAR.
She won't have much at case, but snapping a photo of yourself to show no injury might be a good idea. She's probably bluffing.
Are you kidding?
I'm like 90% sure she was bluffing. Addition, for some reason it seems some of you either think I'm excusing her actions or downplaying the severity. She needs to be put in jail for even threatening to make a false accusation like that. I simply said what I said to ease Ob's nerves a bit about the subject.
More like 80% she's bluffing.
Sounds more like you stuck your inner Karen.
Should have drove her there and called the cops on your way to inform them of the situation. Tears of joy.
40-something is not a girl. It's a woman.
3 things you should never poke with your wiener. 1. Anthills. 2. Campfires. 3. Crazy.
Another reason to have a dash cam that records.
1. Itching. 2. Burning. 3. Itching, burning, and possibly cut off.
The classic double down. Dangerous, but the payout is tempting.
I broke up with a girl after 2 weeks of seeing each other last year, and she told me she was pregnant. A few months later she told me it was twins, both girls. 9 months of friendly conversation on occasion later, she sent me some photos of twins. None of this was real, however, and when I called her out on it, she told me they died, and tried to find every other way out instead of just being like, sorry. My story is crazier because she already has 5 kids, and I have 2.
Her act of threatening you would also be an offense. That's coercion and threatening to file a false police report. I'd go to the police station first and report. I am not a lawyer or legal expert. It's just what I would do.
This is the same woman that will call you next month and tell you she's pregnant.
How is taking a photo of themselves going to do anything to help if the crazy lady goes to the ER and says she was? She's probably bluffing like you said, but a selfie isn't going to help at all.
Oh my, what the is wrong with people? That's another level of up.
Had an ex claim she was pregnant when I broke it off with her. Then when asked by my family she would not say anything. We all knew it was the amount of times this happens to dudes is insanity.
I was just very naive and believed everything she said. I had felt the seeds of manipulation though, which is probably why I kept her at an arm's length. There was a few times where she asked me to sign some papers, and I was like okay let's do it, and she'd ghost me.
It could help to show no scratch marks on himself that often happen during a struggle or someone trying to fight off, but that may be seen as him establishing a defense, because rapists don't always get at that. I most likely would call the police and make a report of what happened, and her threats.
I have a dash cam on my for those very reason.
Write everything down to the smallest details about the evening. Screenshot the messages. Get a lawyer on retainer just in case. So if the cops show up you can say you've been expecting them. Check what neighbors were home that evening so they can later say what they did or didn't hear.
Play the reverse Uno card and tell her you need the death certificates for the life insurance you took out on the twins and she's a beneficiary too.
I agree that it could help, but if she really does make a false report of and there is DNA from present when they do a kid at the hospital, then op has don't think talking to the police in any situation is a good idea, but I would make an exception for this. Getting ahead of a potential situation might be that. Don't talk to police. A smash cam?
Smile, you're on cam dick camera.
He should 100% not talk to the police. If she's in her 40s and reporting every unsatisfying, to her, hookup, she is known to them as the unstable person she is. Chances are slim she will report, and most actual cases go nowhere, or we wouldn't have so many untested kits sitting in storage for years. He would be inviting trouble he will almost certainly never see otherwise if he talks to the police unprompted.
Gash cam.
Sadly quite common. I've been with someone that purposely scratched me up while knocking boots. She joked it was for just in case I ghosted her.
Why do they always ghost me? Greater than I don't think talking to the police in any situation is a good idea, but I would make an exception for this. Getting ahead of a potential situation might be no. Talk to a lawyer. Lawyers are your friends, not police and not HR. These are words to live by.
Even a 10% chance someone is going to make a false charge against you is absolutely terrifying.
I agree. 10 whole bucks says she calls you again hoping to hook up, extort, more crazy. Be prepared to record a call. Check your state's recording consent law, single party, or all party. Also, screenshot all messages now, prepare a facts-only narrative of the evening, and if you really want to, report the incident to the police to get ahead of her. Also, get tested. Sorry this happened to you.
Facts. It's people like this that makes it harder for real victims.
Just tell her she's being recorded. I'll bet that conversation gets very friendly very quickly.
That's a terrible move, more so considering she already has underestimate crazy.
This happened to me a decade ago too. Broke up with crazy and she said she was pregnant. Told me to meet up at the hospital for an abortion, but on the day of said event, I couldn't get in contact with her. Later that evening she said it was already done. I knew it was a lie, but this confirmed everything. It seems like this is a common thing.
Mine is called the dashcam.
Dudes here committed in doing hit and run.
My ex had marks on her collarbone from light choking during earlier in the day. She liked to be choked, but I wasn't comfortable like actually cutting off her windpipe, so I'd do it lower more on her collarbone. Later that day she decided she wanted to kick me out of the house and I wasn't listening, so she trashed the house, went to the cops and said I was the one that trashed the house in a rage, and that I tried to choke her and she narrowly escaped. This all while I had been smoking some, playing Doom Eternal on PC without a care in the world, thinking she just left the house to cool off and I could have a guy's night to myself playing video games without threats to break my computer or harassment all night. Stepped out to get some smokes and came back to cops yelling at me for trashing an apartment that was mostly clean when I left. I legit had no idea was going on, which they took as me just playing dumb. I didn't even know about the choke marks, or what she had said until bond court the next day. I sat in jail for 3 months for that.
Smash and dash.
So much for innocent until proven guilty. Hope you're doing better now. Really sorry that happened to you.
This was the very last time we ever had and also the story of how my daughter was conceived. Lol. My now old daughter, are doing so much better thanks. Smile. Mom has been absent since birth, so I have not spoken to her in over years now.
Glad to hear it. Keep up the great parenting, smiley face.
I got pregnant 6 weeks after breaking up with a guy. I found out 8 weeks after that. He went around telling everyone it was his, including I miscarried and was in the hospital. He demanded the hospital staff let him see me because he thought I was lying, so I could keep the kid from him.
Man, this is why you date a while before making the beast with 2 backs. My brother-in-law wrote 18 years of child support checks plus college tuition to a total nutjob with whom he had a weekend special. Guys, listen to me. There are things in life more important than in.
I had a woman call me and tell me she was pregnant after we had been lovers. I said, "Congratulations. Who's the father?" She said it was between me and another guy. That's when I told her that I had had a vasectomy some years prior and to congratulate the other guy. That procedure paid for itself that day.
When I was accused of breaking and entering, kidnapping and assault, they read the charges like I was guilty. They said she had tried to get a restraining order against me and I had to inept court because they wouldn't let me speak to say I was the one who tried to get a restraining order. Almost all the charges were dropped luckily. She now tells people I her. So that's fun.
It's not super likely, but it is still possible to get someone pregnant after a vasectomy. Do you get checkups to make sure you're not still producing viable?
I've had regular checkups, and I always wore a condom with her. There was zero possibility that I was the father, no matter how much she wanted me to be.
I love hearing that. The checkups afterward are just as important as the vasectomy itself, and so are condoms. My cousin had his vasectomy heal itself and ended up with a crazy baby mom because he didn't get checkups or wear condoms.
Also, proud of you for being the father your daughter needs. Nobody really seems to recognize how many guys are single parents and how much more difficult it can be for dudes.